Look at the street where you live. Count the new cars sitting in driveways. Now tell me something. How many of those owners do you think can actually afford what they're driving? Because there is a silent trap that is destroying the wealth of millions of Americans every single month. And it has a beautiful exterior, an incredible smell, and a monthly payment that seems to fit the budget. Today, I'm going to show you exactly how it works. Let me be straight with you. The new car trap doesn't catch irresponsible people. It catches smart, hardworking people who believe they are making a practical decision. And the cruelest part? It was designed to look exactly like a good decision. The dealership knows this. The bank knows this. And the advertising was created to make sure you never question it. Today, I am going to show you the numbers they don't want you to see, the psychology they use to keep you paying, and what happens to your money once you finally understand how this trap actually works. And I promise you, after this video, you will never walk into a dealership the same way again. Let me tell you something. The automotive industry doesn't want you to know. In 1990, the average new car cost around $15,000. It was a tool. Vinyl seats, simple dashboard, AM/FM radio if you were lucky. Nobody confused a car with a status statement. You bought it to get from point A to point B. Today, the average price of a new car in the United States has exceeded $49,000. And trucks, the best-selling vehicle in the country, reach $80,000, $90,000. Some pass $100,000. But here's what really changed. It wasn't just the price, it was the meaning. Because somewhere between 1990 and today, the car stopped being a tool and became an identity. Manufacturers figured out something that economists are slow to admit, that Americans have an emotional connection to cars that goes far beyond utility. A car tells the world who you are, how much you earn, where you've arrived. And when you understand that, you understand why the ads never show someone driving through rush hour traffic in the rain on the way to work. They show empty roads, mountains, freedom, success. They're not selling transportation. They're selling a version of you that you haven't become yet. And that version has a price tag. $750 a month on average for finance new cars in 2026, with loan terms now stretching to 84 months. 7 years paying for something that starts losing value the moment you leave the lot. But the real price isn't in the monthly payment. It's in what happens to that money over time, and that's exactly what we're going to look at next. Before we get into the numbers, I need to make one thing clear. Everyone needs a car. I'm not telling you to walk everywhere, depend on rides, or give up your independence. I'm saying there's an enormous difference between buying transportation and buying status. And that difference can cost you over $100,000 across your lifetime. Now let's run a calculation the dealership will never run for you. Imagine a couple earning $75,000 a year together. Solid income, American middle class, 2 people working hard. They decide to buy a new car. Nothing crazy, a well-equipped model coming out to $52,000. They put $3,000 down and finance the remaining $49,000 at 7% interest over 72 months. The monthly payment lands at $837. Sounds manageable, right? Now let's look at the real cost. Insurance on a new car, $200 a month, gas for 15,000 miles a year. $320 a month, maintenance and registration, $80 a month. Total monthly cost, $1,437. With a take-home pay of approximately $4,800 a month, this couple is spending 30% of everything they earn on a single car. But here's the number the dealership will never put on the table. After 6 years of payments, this couple will have paid over $60,000 for that car. And you know what it will be worth at that point? Between $18,000 and $22,000. That means in 6 years, this couple destroyed over $40,000 in net worth. But the real cost is even higher. Because $837 a month invested in an index fund averaging 8% annual returns over 6 years would have grown to approximately $78,000. The true cost of that car wasn't $40,000. It was $40,000 destroyed plus $78,000 that was never created, over $118,000 from a single car. Now compare that to a couple who bought a 3-year-old Toyota Camry for $22,000, financed over 36 months. Monthly payment of $680, lower insurance, better fuel economy. Total monthly cost around $1,100. The difference of $337 a month invested over 6 years grows to approximately $31,000. Same car? No. Same destination? Yes. Same school for the kids, same grocery store, same commute to work, with $31,000 more in their pocket. Because the mistake isn't having a car. The mistake is overpaying for a car that does the exact same thing a simpler one would. And what makes this trap truly dangerous isn't the numbers. It's the psychology behind them. Have you ever stopped to wonder why smart people who understand money, who know that new cars depreciate, still walk out of a dealership with an $800 monthly payment? It isn't stupidity, it's psychology. And the automotive industry spends billions of dollars a year to make sure that psychology works perfectly against you. The first mechanism is identity. And when you see that new car in the showroom, you aren't looking at a means of transportation. You're looking at a version of yourself, more successful, more respected, more arrived. Because the ads don't sell cars. They sell who you want to become. And when the purchase is connected to your identity, questioning the price feels like questioning yourself. The second mechanism is social pressure. And when everyone in your neighborhood drives new cars, driving a 3-year-old vehicle feels like failure because everyone projects financial confidence while struggling in silence. And what nobody sees are the money arguments behind those closed doors, the overdue bills, the retirement account that never grows. The third mechanism is payment focusing, because the dealership never asks how much the car costs. It asks how much you can pay per month, and when the focus is the payment, the total price becomes an abstract number that nobody calculates, since $800 a month sounds reasonable. But $57,600 over 6 years sounds absurd, even though they are exactly the same thing. The fourth mechanism is negative equity, and after 2 years of payments, you owe more to the bank than the car is worth. You want out, but don't have the money to cover the difference. So the dealership offers a solution. Trade in the car and roll the debt into the next loan. And you go from a car you couldn't afford to a car you can afford even less. While the cycle continues, the dealership profits on every transaction, the bank profits on every loan, and you dig a deeper financial hole thinking you're solving the problem. Understanding these 4 mechanisms won't make you immune to them automatically, but it will give you something the dealership never wants you to have, which is clarity. Let me introduce you to 2 couples. Both live in the same city, work at similar companies, have kids at the same school, and together earn $130,000 a year. From the outside, their lives look identical. On the inside, the decisions they made about cars are creating a difference that will change everything. The first couple owns two new vehicles, a truck financed over 84 months and a luxury SUV with a combined monthly vehicle cost exceeding $2,600. That's $31,200 a year going to transportation. The second couple bought two 3-year-old used cars, reliable, paid off in 36 months, with a combined monthly cost of $950. That's $11,400 a year going to transportation. The difference between these two couples is $19,800 a year. Now let's see what happens to that money over time. In 10 years, the first couple has spent $198,000 more on transportation than the second, and that money invested at 8% per year would have grown to approximately $310,000. In 20 years, the gap exceeds $900,000. $900,000 from a single decision about cars repeated over the course of a career. And here's the detail that's most striking. Both couples drove to the same job, went to the same grocery store, dropped their kids off at the same school, and did all the same things that any family does every day. The only difference was the car they chose to do all of it in. One couple will retire with options, with freedom, with the time to choose what they want to do with their lives. The other will arrive at retirement wondering why they never managed to save money, even after earning well for decades, and the answer will be sitting in the garage. Now that you understand how the trap works, let me give you something practical. I'm not here to tell you to sell your car tomorrow or go through a drastic change overnight. I'm here to give you 4 questions that will completely change the way you think about cars from this point forward. The first question is this: what is the total monthly cost of your current car? Not just the payment. Add everything together: payment, insurance, gas, maintenance, and registration. Divide by the number of months you have been driving that car, and compare that number to 15% of your gross monthly income. If you're above that threshold, you are overextended, regardless of how reasonable the monthly payment feels. The second question is, are you driving that car or driving the image of it? Be honest. Write down for 3 months everything you actually do with the vehicle, every trip, every load, every time you use special features. And at the end of that period, look at the list honestly. If the list is short or empty, you aren't paying for utility, you're paying for identity. And identity is the most expensive product that exists. The third question is, what is this car actually costing you in the long run? Take the total monthly cost above what a simple, reliable car would cost, multiply by 12 to get the annual excess, and project that amount invested at 8% per year across your remaining working years. That number is the wealth you are choosing to destroy. And the fourth question is the most important of all. What could that money build instead? An early retirement? A real emergency fund? A down payment on a home? The freedom to change jobs without fear? The ability to say no to situations that don't serve you? All of that is on the other side of the decision to buy a simpler car. And here's the good news. You don't need to buy a $3,000 car with 200,000 miles to escape this trap. The sweet spot is a 2 to 4-year-old used car from a reliable brand like Toyota, Honda, or Mazda, bought in cash or financed over no more than 36 months with a total cost below 15% of your income. That car will take you everywhere a $52,000 new car would. With one difference: while you're driving, your net worth is growing instead of shrinking. Let me leave you with one final thought. The new car trap was never really about the car. It was about identity, about status, about the need to show the world you've made it before you actually have. And the automotive industry understands this better than anyone because it spent decades perfecting the art of turning a transportation need into a declaration of who you are. But here's what the truly wealthy know that most people never learn. Real wealth isn't visible in the garage. It's visible in the investment statement, in the freedom to choose how you spend your time, in the ability to say no to situations that don't serve you. The most impressive car in the neighborhood almost never belongs to the wealthiest person in the neighborhood, and the most modest car on the street almost always belongs to someone who is building something that no monthly payment in the world can buy: freedom. Now tell me in the comments, have you ever fallen into this trap, or do you know someone who has? Share the story, because I know you have one. And if this video resonated with you, send it to your partner right now by text or iMessage, because this is a conversation every couple needs to have. And if you want to take the next step and get your finances in order once and for all, we created the Couple Financial Planner Plus Vision Board, a practical tool for anyone who wants to stop winging it and start building with intention. Whether you're on your own or with someone you love, the link is in the first pinned comment of this video. Subscribe to the channel and hit the notification bell. Every week, there's new content on money, family, mindset, and purpose. See you next time.